Good afternoon. On behalf of the FMU community, I would like to welcome you to this special dedication honoring Dr. Joseph E. Heyward. Dr. Heyward, a longtime administrator of the university, a founding member and named scholar of the African American Faculty and Staff Coalition, of which I am a proud member. Thank you for coming out to this special dedication, and we're going to turn the program over to Dr. Carter.
Teresa did mention that she's the president of the coalition, and she's done a terrific job in that regard. You know, I was thinking this morning about how I wanted to kind of structure my comments on Joe today. And then we came over here and finally looked over and she said, no notes. And I said, well, you know, if I need notes to introduce Joe Heyward, it's time for me to retire. Everything I think factual you need about Joe is in the inside of the program, okay, his bio. What's not on the inside of the program is the comments I would make about the character of the man, the devotion, the integrity, the commitment to generations and generations and generations of the students on this campus. You know, it's interesting, when you look through his bio, you'll see that Joe's done many things on this campus. He's done many, many things in this community. He's been the provost 3 different times in the history of this university. I keep reminding everybody that he was the president of this university for 3 months. We need to change this to reflect that. But the one job on this campus, without question, that Joe Heyward loved the most was student affairs. There's a special place in Joe's heart for the men and women that come through this institution. You guys know who our students are. You know that we take great pride in our students. Well, many of those students, for better than 3 decades, were able to get through this institution because they had a mentor, they had a counselor, they had an advisor by the name of Joe Heyward. He not only helped them find money in many instances to get through here, he offered them sound advice about academics and studying and taking their life seriously. I don't know this for sure, although I've been told this. From time to time, he might lose a disciplinary infraction that occurred simply to give a kid a break. But most importantly, he helped them graduate. He sat back as they crossed that stage, and the biggest smile in that auditorium was always that of Joe Heyward. Make no mistake about this. Those men and women who were graduating belonged to all of the faculty and staff on this campus, but they were Joe's kids for 3 decades. You know, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that he also helped one other person substantially on this campus. Many of you know, certainly the faculty and staff know, that when I first came as president, Joe was my provost for the first year. You know, that was a year in which I got to choose my provost, and he served as the interim. The faculty at that point, as you know, and the administration had been in a bit of a contentious situation. So I really wanted to choose a provost that was respected by virtually everybody on this campus. And as it turned out, my first decision turned out to be one of my best decisions. So during the course of that year, Joe would nudge me in one direction or another, and he would walk behind me and whisper a little advice that was always sorely needed and deeply appreciated. Joe not only taught me how to be a better president that first year, most compellingly, Joe Heyward taught me about the PD region of South Carolina. See, I lived in Columbia, and I lived in Charleston, and I assumed that the PD was just like Charleston and Columbia. And I found out in the first 20 minutes that it was substantially different. And during the next year, Joe Heyward taught me why it was so different. The other thing I remember Joe telling me one time, we were sitting in my office and I was talking about the poverty, and I was talking about some of our disease, the pathology that existed in PD. Joe looked over at me and he says, you know, if this stuff doesn't get to people within the first 2 years, they're so cold-hearted that they don't belong here. And that's always struck me in my mind, that if you want to learn compassion, you come to the PD and understand what it takes to help people. Well, for that first year, I remain eternally grateful for Joe, for the support, for the help, for the guidance. But I want to tell you one other thing. If I ever become lost in my sense of direction as president, I take great satisfaction now that there's a signpost on campus I can go to and look at to get the sense of direction I need. And that would be the Joe Heyward Drive signpost. It's my pleasure now to introduce the chairman of our Board of Trustees, who will present the naming resolution, Mr. Robert Lee.
Good afternoon. Dr. Heyward, Dr. Carter, members of the board, members of the faculty, and our guest, welcome Francis Marion. As I was thinking about the best way to describe Joe Heyward to all of you, I thought about basketball. And I remember basketball before a three-point line, before it was all just run and gun, where you really had plays you set. And you had a sixth man who always came in. And the sixth man was either could play a small forward or a big guard. But he could fill multiple positions multiple times. And he was kind of that all-around guy. And as I look at Joe Heyward and his history here, he's been our sixth man a long time. Never has he said, what's in it for me? He's not looked at it professionally and said, when's it my time? When's it my time to be at the head of the line? He never did that. It was always, what role do I need to fill? And he's filled so many roles here. He's touched so many people. It would be telling that the 6 trustees who've come today to see this unveiled are all graduates of the university, are all people who are here and have been here as either students or trustees when he's been here. And that's the impact he has had on us. We don't see Dr. Heyward the same way Dr. Carter does, because we see university more from a policy level. But one of the things we've always seen is that he's always filling a role, always doing something for the university. But what he's never asking for is, what's in it for me? And so today, we are going to honor him for something he didn't seek, he didn't set out for, he didn't ask for. We're going to recognize him for the service he gave and the person he's been to the students who've been here, the students who are here, and the fact that what he's done and the service he's given is going to impact students who are going to come in the future. So let me read the resolution. Whereas Dr. Joseph E. Heyward served the university for more than 3 decades with great honor, dignity, and distinction, and during his tenure held positions as instructor of mathematics, director of the University Center, vice president for college activities, provost, vice president for student affairs, and Frenchman University desires to acknowledge these contributions with an enduring tribute. Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Trustees for Francis Marion University hereby approves the renaming of Patriot Drive as Heyward Drive in honor of Dr. Joseph E. Heyward, signed June 21, 2018. Dr. Heyward.
Shall we move on over, Mr. Chairman, to unveil our sense of direction?
Chairman Lee and other members of the Board of Trustees, President Freddie Carter, members of the administration. I am simply overwhelmed for this recognition, and I must say a big thank you for what you've done. It was back in February this year when President Carter called me the night of the African American Faculty Staff Coalition Gala that he was going to make this announcement that night. Due to illness, I missed my first meeting. I am grateful for the kind thoughts, and you are to be blessed for your generosity. I regard myself being honored to be the subject of your generous attention. A local boy whose parents reared him to be the best at whatever you attempt and have the desire to make a difference in the world. It is my delight and honor being in your presence today and to be the recipient of such recognition. My love for this university has been said spans a period of 45 years, since 1973 and through my retirement. Francis Marion University has been my love. My commitment to success from the first day I set foot on this campus. I had a commitment that was and remains sincere, and I take it to heart. My Rotarist motto, service above self. I spent a number of years running around these streets on this campus, from one office to the other, changing hats at that corner right there, from student affairs to academic affairs. But I enjoyed every minute of it, and I'd do it again if I had to. I can't thank President Carter enough for his thoughtfulness and the work he does for higher education, for this university, PD area, and this state. Dr. Carter, again, thank you. And I want to end my remarks without thanking Darrell Bridges, and Kathy Johnson for all they've done to get this set up and from the foundation office. And he's in the back and he'll accept your checks. Also, I want to thank members of the African American Faculty Staff Coalition for your involvement, your leadership. Thank you, Teresa. I owe them a great debt of gratitude. In addition to members of the Student Affairs staff, which I spent many years. And I want to thank members of the faculty and staff, both current and retired, for your attendance here today. My mama didn't raise a fool, so I don't want to go home without recognizing a few people. Through the backbone of me. I want to thank my wife, Evelyn Heyward. 48 years that she's put up with me. My number 2 grandson, who we're raising, Jalen Davis, who's back there. My youngest son, Marion C. Heyward, from Marion, Georgia, and he brought 3 of my grandchildren with him, Ryan II, Mackenzie, and Cameron. I'm thankful that I have all my siblings and they're here today. I'd like you to meet them. My oldest sister, Dr. Grace H. Salters, who's a retired professor from South Carolina State University, Allenburg. My brother, Reverend Dr. John Heyward, who is a retired colonel, U.S. Air Force, and retired United Methodist minister in St. Louis, Missouri. My middle sister, Peggy H. Farmer, who holds down the homestead here in Florence, who I turn to on many occasions when I need something, and she's a retired teacher. My baby sister, Mrs. Patricia Pearson, from Decatur, Georgia, and Washington, D.C., and I say it like that. She's here with her husband, Colonel Irvin Pearson, and Irvin is the Deputy Chief Financial Officer, Veterans Benefits Administration, Washington, D.C., and I say they're from both Decatur and Washington. I have an adopted son who came from Lexington, South Carolina, David Ugiano. Raise your hand, David. I adopted him when he was a student here at Francis, Marion, and that relationship is going on, and I have a granddaughter with Ava, and daughter-in-law, Terry. My sister-in-law is here, Mary Bostic, her daughter, Wanda, and her granddaughter, Brittany. And one, I have a grandniece who's here, Destiny Farmer, and she drove, she's a youngster, but she drove my sister down here from London. And my goddaughter, Amber Scott. Amber, stand up. I really want to see you. My beautiful granddaughter. From Raleigh, North Carolina. She just drove in to be here. to be a part of this. I can't say thank you enough. I see so many familiar faces and I can stop calling their names. My neighbors, my church members, my friends, my FMU faculty, thank you. Thank you to all my neighbors. Oh yeah, I haven't got them. She's reminding me of my fraternity brothers. I haven't got them. They're here. Many of them are here. Our deputy state director is here. Raise your hand. Brother Gatlin says thank you for coming from Columbia. And our area coordinator, who's also an administrator at Coastal Carolina University. Where are you? Area. Brother Overton, thank you for being here. And all of my other frat brothers who decided to come out and witness this. And all other members of the African American Faculty Staff Coalition. You look nice in your t-shirt. Thank you for that honor. Again, Dr. Carter, Chairman Lee, thank you very much. Our work is still far from over. There's still a lot to be done. Trust me, as always, I'm available to provide any assistance that I can. Again, thank you very much for this honor and all of my family and friends who are here. I appreciate it, and God bless you all.
Evelyn, would you come over here? There's just one more thing we need to do before we adjourn. Now, all of you know, a ceremony like this, we need to give you some kind of surcease, a memento to take home so you never forget this. Now, there'll be the signs around campus, but I don't want Joe sneaking out here and stealing a sign.